Hello viewers and welcome to my new video. In today's video I would like to talk to you about a subject that perhaps not that many people actually talk about, and it's about psychological resilience in musicians. So recently my gig got cancelled. Okay, so again I could treat this as a blow, as a failure or whatever. I actually played my own gig, which was at the Eagle Inn in Salford, and I invited a couple of bands to play with me at the gig. One of them was called the Funk Cats, a brilliant band, by the way, really cool kind of funky band from Yorkshire. And Luke, the guitarist from the band, actually invited me to play a gig in the city of Bradford, where they were from, effectively. So he was kind of organizing his own gig and he wanted to return the favor, so he invited me to play, and I was like really happy about it, and both me and Will were going to go and play that gig, and it was supposed to be a really good night. And then I got this message about 3 weeks before the gig. I got a message from Luke to tell me that the actual venue in which the gig was supposed to be happening shut down completely. All right, so they basically closed the business down, and he actually was very resilient in that situation and managed to book it at a different venue. So he managed to actually move the whole gig to a completely new venue, and that was like 3 weeks before the actual gig date. And that's a big undertaking, I must tell you that, because if you've ever tried to book a gig and you start contacting venues and things like that, usually venues are booked up far in advance. And I think booking a venue, or finding even a venue like 3 weeks before the gig, is probably close to impossible. So I was kind of half expecting him to tell me that the gig was going to be cancelled, but no, he actually said no, I've found a new venue and it's all still going ahead. Well, nevertheless, he, after that, sort of maybe like a few days later, he actually did message me and told me that the gig was now actually cancelled. And he also told me in that message that his band split up, completely. Like, so there was no more the Funk Cats, and that kind of blew the whole thing, to pieces, I suppose. And I was kind of, I was being really sympathetic, because again, this is about being resilient. So, I took it quite well, actually, because, I could have thought to myself, oh no, this was going to be my expansion, because I've just played my debut gig as a solo artist, and I've been invited to this next gig in another town, and I was going to go and I was going to present my music and maybe gain some more following, build expand my fan base, things like that. And it didn't happen. But I didn't have that reaction. I actually felt really sorry for Luke and for what he was going through, in a way. But that situation really made me think about how resilient musicians actually have to be a lot of the time, because to be honest with you, we do go through a lot of rejection, we do go through some failures, we do go through some people who they're not everybody's going to like what you're doing, so there will be people who either don't like your music, or they will express they don't like whatever that might be. And sometimes as well, you end up putting quite a lot of work into something for like a very little reward, it may seem at times, because like Luke, he even said that to me. He worked really hard on that gig, to get, he actually had 2 other acts booked. So there was me, there were 2 other bands and his band, and then to have all that crumble, after all that work that he put in, it must have been heartbreaking, and really tough. and really tough for him. And I kind of thought, yeah, that is exactly it. You know, that there's a lot of times when musicians, or perhaps artists in general, have to deal with these types of things. You know, you might be putting a lot of effort. So for example, you know, I don't know, I could be writing a song, and I could be sort of, you know, working on that song for months, you know, maybe trying to prepare a music video, maybe do like a lot of different things, promotional activities, only to then find out, oh, you know, like actually not that many people watched my video or listened to my song or that kind of thing. And you know, sometimes it can be a little bit discouraging, but I think that this ability to carry on and to keep going, you know, regardless of the circumstances and regardless of any obstacles that might sort of come in your way, I think is really important. And I think that a lot of musicians and a lot of artists in general, I think they're very resilient people, and I think they can overcome a lot of those barriers and obstacles, you know, and I think that's a commendable trait to have, you know. So yeah, those are my reflections really, based on my recent experience, which kind of just opened up, you know, maybe some, you know, past memories or even some more recent memories, like around how many things have sort of, at least on the surface, may have gone wrong or whatever, that and kind of when maybe I even myself didn't sort of give up and carried on and picked myself up and just carried on, you know, moving forward. So yeah, so if you want to take anything from this video as a message, it's exactly that, you know, carry on regardless. You know, if you are currently thinking, I don't know, maybe you have your own YouTube channel, or you're doing your music, or whatever that might be, you might be thinking, oh, I only have 5 subscribers or whatever, only 2 people watched my video, that kind of thing. I don't know, whatever that might be, just don't despair, don't give up, carry on, work on your thing, whatever that might be. It's all about carrying on, not giving up. It will bring you some level of success at some point, as long as you carry on and stick to it. Don't be discouraged. So thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, leave this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video.